Hello, welcome back to my platform. In this video today, I'll be showing you how I make my hand fan skeleton. So this very first one I'm going to make now is that shape that look like purse. So I'll be using the ply board, my hand saw. I'm using a chalk just to draft it out, and then I will also show you different materials or instruments that I can use to form my hand fan skeleton. I advise that you stay till the end of this video. Just keep watching. I believe it will benefit you. So the first thing I'm doing is to draft the shape of the hand fan that I want to make out. So because it's going to look like purse, so the first thing I'll do now is carve out the shape and the size. It's depending on how big you want it to be. So the bigger you want, the bigger the shape that you are drafting now. But for me, this particular size I'm using is okay. And please don't ask me for the measurement. I did not measure. I was trying to look for my measurement tape. I didn't get it, so I just decided, let me make it like this. But you can take any size you want at all. It can be big, it can be small. So after drafting this size out now and this shape out, I will cut it. The reason for the first one you see there is to create a opening. That opening is where my hand can pass through to hold the hand fan like a purse. So I'll just simply use my hand saw and cut it out. I will not tell you that it's a very easy process. It's not too easy if you are not good with saw. So if you cannot cut it, get a carpenter to help you do it. So the next thing is to fix the handle, and you know you need to get this round shape. So I don't waste my time looking for how to get a round shape. I simply get a mob stick and cut the handle. Cut from the handle and just fix it. You know, and to fix it, you can see that I created an opening in between this mob stick so that it can sit properly into the shape. So the next thing you are seeing there is that on both sides there is an opening. There is also an extension where it can sit properly. You can see it already. I fixed it in and it is sitting. Forget about the fact that this shape is rough now, because I'm going to wrap it. By the time I'm done wrapping it, you will see the beauty of it. So secondly, I'm making another shape. This shape is created out of a four corner. I'm very sorry. I called on a carpenter to help me with this, and he's not using chalk. But don't worry, when he's done drafting out what he's doing now, I'm just going to go very close to him with my camera so that you can see the shape. So what he did was to first of all create a square shape, and then after the square shape you will just curve every edge of the square shape, every edge of the square. So we just curve it out, every of the angle there, and yes, just curve it out, after which it will cut the shape out. So when it's done with what it's doing now, I will go close. You will see the shape before he will cut it. Okay, let me go close. Yeah, so you see the shape already. It's just like trying to create what would I call, like an egg shape, like an egg, not completely a round shape, but an egg shape, you understand? Oval, that's what they call it here. So it's cutting it out now. Cut out the shape neatly. Now if you are not going to wrap your skeleton, there's nothing wrong with it. You can use a sandpaper, you know, to smoothen the edges, just that it will give you more work. Whichever one you think is easy, you do. You can use a sandpaper to smoothen, and every part of it will be very smooth and neat for you to work with. Don't mind my voice. I have some issue with my voice. I've been trying to work on it. Please just manage it today, please. So after cutting it and making sure that it's round enough, it's just only ensuring that the thing is round enough. He's still going to get the mop stick, because it's not in his workshop. He's going to get the mop stick again and cut it open. So now this is very important. Depending on the size of your plyboard, if you are using a 1/4 inch plyboard, it means that your round stick you are going to use as handle, you will open it up to a 1/4 inch. If you are using a 1/2 inch plyboard, it means you also open it up to 1/2 inch. But I always advise that you use the lightest plyboard. That one, your own hand can break it. It makes the work very easy for you when you are trying to use your hand saw to cut it, because it's not always you will get a carpenter. Sometimes you might have a demand and it's urgent, you need to do it by yourself. Yes, so get that very light plyboard. I advise that. So you create the opening in the mop stick just like you see there now, and then you fix it into it. Now when you fix it into it like this, it will sit on its own. You can put a gum, like a top bond. There's this gum carpenters use when they are working, top bond. They use it to gum wood. So you can actually apply a top bond to it and just pass it through. The top bond will hold the two stick together. You understand? But without the top bond, you can actually nail it. You can get the smallest size of nail, not too big, because if the nail is big, it's going to break your handle open and you will not want that to happen. So you get this very small size of nail. That very small size, the smallest is more or less like a pin. So you just use it to nail it like one or two places. It will be okay like that. So because we are not having top bond here, it's just going to nail it now, and after nailing I will wrap it. But before I will go ahead to wrap this, I will also show you another material or another instrument that you can use for your hand fan. There are several things you can actually use. We have the regular hand fan skeleton we buy from the market, but just that shape is just it's just one way. You understand? The normal one you open and it will finally form something like a triangle or a bed opening its feather. Apart from that shape, you cannot use that particular fan skeleton for another thing. So that is why we resort to using plyboard to create you can cut out any shape you want from plyboard, any shape at all you want to create a love shape, you cut it out, any shape. If you cannot cut it, give it to a carpenter. Okay, so before I go into wrapping, let me just introduce you to this fan. We get this fan from regular sellers that hawk this fan around. It's meant for you to actually fan your body in Africa here when you are too hot. You feel that the heat is too much, you just buy it from the sellers to fan your body. But we find this fan very helpful. Now you can reduce it to any size. You can use it just the way it is. The disadvantage of using it the way it is that it's going to consume a lot of feathers, and it might, depending on how much you are being paid for your work. If the person is not paying much, you understand, you really want to manage the feathers that you are using, you understand me? So because of that, I advise that you can reduce the size of the fan. You can reduce it. It's not compulsory you work with it like this, so you can reduce it. So I'm removing the red part. If I find out that after removing the red part it will still consume too much of the feathers, you can as well go ahead and remove the yellow part and just work with only the blue part. Now the advantage of reducing it is, one, it will help your feathers, you will not waste your feathers, and secondly, the fan will be full. You will not be giving space, as in jumping space, to actually glue it. You get me? So the fan will be really full. You can work as close as you want, and forget about the fact that maybe the shape is small. It will not determine the size. The fan will still be very full. I bet you it will make you to work with it close enough, with very good distance, and then you will get your feathers really full and bouncing on it. So I am actually reducing this to the minimum. So I'm taking off the yellow part. Now after reducing it, now you know this thing is actually sewn. So when you cut off this part, there's this tendency that it will be losing on its own. So in order to avoid that challenge, if you are going to wrap, it's not a problem, don't worry about it. After wrapping it, it will be in place. But if you are not going to wrap and you want to work on it directly, please, I advise that after cutting it to size, just get a needle and thread and sew it round again. It will help you to keep it in shape and it will not lose. Yes, so this is it. This is the size I'm going to be working with. So let's just move to my table so that we can wrap. Let's just do the wrapping. So let's go to the table for wrapping now. I will start by wrapping the very first shape that I created, which I told you is the purse. The shape for the purse. This video is long, please forgive me. It's so that you will understand. I just don't want to hurry over it. Okay, so for me to wrap it, I will cover it with the material and draw the shape out. I will draw the shape out. So this is what I have done. I have covered it with my material now, and the very shape that I need to cut out of it is what I have drawn out there. You see, I've used the marker to draw the shape. The next thing I will do is that I will just use my scissors and cut it out. Now please, in cutting it out, don't cut it too close. If it is too close, it will affect you while wrapping. You might not actually be able to wrap the complete shape if you cut it too close. You might find out that some part of the plyboard will now start opening, and you don't want that to happen. So I have cut out, you see, two parts, one for the back and one for the front. You understand? This is the only way it will sit. You just have to cut it. Don't just think I will just put material, wrap it and fold it. You will have irregular, you will have challenges with it. So please, this is the right way you wrap it. You get me? So the same thing I did to the back, I will do to the front, and then I'll simply cut out the shape. Now for me to wrap, after cutting it out, if you do not have anything to wrap it, maybe you are not having your hot glue, you don't have any glue you are going to use to actually gum this thing, don't worry, just get needle and thread and sew it. It's as simple as that. Get needle and thread and sew it. Sew every part of these two materials. Just put the shape in between it and then use your needle and thread and sew every opening together. It will cover it. Now the reason why we cover and don't just work on the skeleton like that is that it will make your work to be more presentable. That's just the truth, and it will help you to be able to gum to stick your feathers better. It will help, you know, when you are gumming on a material, it glues better and it will secure better. The tendency for it to pull out is not much, it's very little. You understand? When you stick any gum you use on a material, it has a way of sitting better on a material than just sitting on a plain surface. I hope you understand that. So I'm actually turning to make sure I get the same size, and then I just roll and then cut the same thing out. Is this simple anyway? Is this simple? Like I said before, you can create any shape. Once you are using the plyboard for your infant skeleton, anything is possible. Yeah, you can even like create a human being shape if you like. Any shape at all. You can create a traveling bag shape. Any shape at all will come out of it. You can create a love shape. It will come out. You can create a star. and you will build your fan like a star. You understand? Any shape at all is very possible when we are using plyboard. But if you go for the regular hand fan skeleton, of course, you know, it's just that your open shape, like having a, what do I call it now, a triangle shape, or like a bird just opening the feather. That's the only thing you can do with that. So I actually advise that, please, if you really want your work to be unique, then go for this just simply go for the plyboard and get a carpenter. You can buy a full plyboard, give it to a carpenter, tell him, I want this shape, cut it like this. Just give your description. They will even use machine and cut it. It will come out lovely. So this is my secret. This is how I create my own hand fan skeleton, and I am just simply wrapping it. I decide to do all this. I can do them off camera, but I don't want to do anything off camera. I hope you love it. I just don't want to do anything off camera. So to wrap this, you see what I did? Just draw the shape out and cut it. I did not just put the material and start wrapping. No. Draw out the shape and cut it. Yes, without cutting it, it will not sit properly. Without you cutting out the shape, it will not sit properly. So I always say, draw out the shape first and cut it. So even up to this, I'm going to wrap. I will still draw out the shape. That's why I said this video is long. Please forgive me. I think it is for the good of those that ask for it. Please. Yeah, so just draw out the shape and also cut it. It will help you to get accurate measurement while fixing. You will not have excess material that you will start battling with how you are going to hide it, how you are going to make it smooth and all that. It's very easy. So this is just it. But I'm just going to gum it off camera now. I'm going to gum it off camera so that I will not waste too much of your time. So just place it on each other and gum it off camera. So this is the final shape that I will have before I'll finally start fixing. You see, this is the post shape. The opening I created there was to enable you hold it, your hand to pass through, and then you, of course, I have a video on how to fix the feathers on it. So just watch my link and you will see them, the video on how to fix the feathers. Thank you for watching these tutorials. I hope to see you in my next video, and I also hope that this tutorial has been helpful. Please subscribe to my channel if you are yet to do so. I love you. Tell others about me. I'm here to do my best.